All right, the watch list for Monday. Let's start with GES. Massive volume on Thursday, and pretty big volume on Friday, but it really still held on to a lot of those gains. Let's look at it on a 15-minute basis. So, and a nice bounce at the end of the day. Friday was quadruple witching, so I don't trust a lot of the action on Friday anyway. I want to watch this one for a potential bounce. Again, you've probably seen enough of my videos, or if you've seen enough of my videos, you know that I'm only looking for a very specific occurrence before I'll trade GES on Monday. So, but it definitely deserves to be on a chart. Lumber Liquidators, LL. Again, I do not look at this chart as pretty, but because of the story and because of everything surrounding it, you've got to have this one on a chart. All right, this right here is a good example. These are 15-minute candles. It was, I'll zoom over here. It was a real quiet day. This was a few days back, by the way, but a real quiet day, sideways, no action, and then so when it breaks through the high of the day, look what happens. If you're a day trader, just the entry somewhere around 29.78, probably right here. Next thing you know, it goes up almost $1 in 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was. So just knowing how beaten up this was, or this is, and the story, I want to have it on bounce watch. Again, only a very specific setup that I'll be trying to take that. NVGN, another bounce play. Almost 20 million shares back here. This thing is known for big spikes and also known for giving them back. But you had this spike, this spike, this spike. You're starting to get higher highs and higher lows, and now you're 3 red days in a row. So that one also very specific setup that I'm looking for, but I want to have NVGN on watch. Go-Go. Now this one is just super strong lately, and let me switch to 15-minute candles. It didn't break its early high like a few sessions ago, but then look what happened the very next day. Remember, this is a really strong stock. 15-minute candles might not be the right choice, but one of our moderators, Gulam, spotted this one this day when it looked like this, and I think he called it at 2108. And I mean, just like that, really quickly it went to 2152 right after it hit its trigger price. And then it didn't do much the rest of the day, and it didn't do anything, never broke its early high on Friday. But just whenever I see a stock that does that quick, and the only reason I saw this is because Gulam called it, and a lot of people made some really quick money on it. So whenever I see that, I say to myself, you know what, let's just keep that on watch for a few days and see if we can catch another similar setup. And it is a pretty strong stock anyway. But CNDO, huge move, gave a lot of it back now, but I still, 25 million shares on Thursday, down to 3.2 million on Friday. So this could give just a quiet sideways entry on Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, I don't know, but anytime I get this kind of volume, I watch it for the next several days, and a lot of times we get a really nice second payday from it. All right, so we just keep this one on watch as well. CAPN, this is really obscure, but again, it's another one of those that makes really nice moves at times. Let me scroll back a little bit. Back here you can see it. Then you had this huge spike here, really nice spike here, and then it's kind of gone dormant. So it's just worth having on watch. It bounced really nicely back here off of 512. The low back here was 515, and look, we're getting back there again. Let me get this line and just move it. Really, it's coming down to really nice support. That's not a perfect spot, but anyway, we'll get down to that line on on Monday. Maybe we get a nice turn. So I want to have this one on watch just because of the moves it can make. Pretty thin stock though, so you got to watch that one. AXN, another cheapie, but huge move back here, then a pullback, then a bounce, right back to the right back to the 8-day moving average. Another big push here, came down close to the 8-day. And another big push. Now you're 3 days in a row down. The last decent bounce was off the $1.58 area back here, getting close to that. So, and 3 days in a row down. I want to watch this one for a bounce too. I know the thing about these bounce plays is, you have them on watch, and if you're not in the chat room, they probably won't make much sense to you because they're all going to be called on an intraday basis. And it's much easier to follow something like Herbalife on Friday, on Thursday night's video, I said I liked Herbalife HLF over Wednesday's high, and I gave you the price, $38.76. And one of our members in chat, Jane, was all over that and caught it and made a huge trade in it. I was looking elsewhere at the time, so I'm embarrassed to say that I'm the guy that had this on watch over this red candle, and it did this, and I didn't make a nickel from it. There's something I'm going to work on, and the rest of the room is going to work on going forward. If I have a trigger price on something, there's no excuse for the entire room to miss it. And to be fair, we didn't, because Jane posted. I just didn't see her post. I've since added her to my hot script, which means when Jane posts something, I'll get an audible alert. So that we have a customizable chat room in that light, so you can take any member that you like their alerts and add them to what we call your hot script list, and then you'll get an audible alert whenever they post something. So you don't have to stay or chat. You get that alert, and you can see what one of your people from your chosen list has posted. Should make it where you don't miss as many ideas from the like-minded traders that you've chosen. All right. Anyway, FOLD. Had the gap up and then gap down a bit on Friday and sold off, but kind of a decent intraday bounce from its midday lows, but it never did break its early high. So this is just another one like a lot of these others that I want to have on bounce watch, but I'm not sure. I don't have a trigger price for you like I did on Herbalife on Thursday night's video. Loco, I still have a line there from the day it gapped up. That was the pre-market high. And it ended up popping up the next day to 28, came back down again. Look at that bounce off the 8-day, and right up to 27. Let's go to 15-minute candles. You kind of have even a little cup and handle here. So I like this. I like Loco over 27. It might be up from here. This pullback, really kind of a clean pullback to the 8-day, might have been the low of the pullback post earnings. So I like this one over 27. Or just with a proper intraday setup. That's LOCO. JMEI, kind of a big list today, by the way. JMEI had a high back here after just getting decimated. Right here it bounced to 1552, and then kind of pulled back and then starting to head back up and getting pretty nice volume the last week or so. And the highs 1540 was the high on Friday. So I do like this over 1540. And I'm actually going to move this line, and then that might be enough to get it through that 1552, which is another possible catalyst, the break of this December high. So I like this over 1540. And real quick, I'm going to put that number in my notes. 1541. What else do we have? QIHU just decimated, then bounced up, gapped up. I think this might have been on earnings. I'm not sure. Came back down, took out these lows, which often happens. Where do you think, after this gap up, where do you think most people throw their stop? Right below this 45.28, right? Below most recent lows. And just to be nasty, the market came down, went down to 44.56, and now is back up to these recent highs. So the high of this day was 51.25. The high of Friday was, let me get this right here, looks like 50.94. Let me double check that on an intraday basis. Yeah, so you got to like this one up over 51. Then it might take out this high from whatever date this was, March 6th, over 51.25. So I'll be watching this one, QIHU over 51. I have that number in my notes already. ADXS gapped up here on earnings, broke out above these highs, but then sold off for 3 sessions. Put in a green day on Thursday and showing a little bit more strength on Friday. So this one might start to head back up. This isn't my favorite setup, but it's still interesting. I still have that line there. Let's move that down. So, over Friday's high, this might just continue the bounce. That's not like breakout area or anything. So for a person like me who's a day trader, this isn't an area that I would expect if it breaks, it's just going to rip. So that's why I say I like this less, because I'm just looking for stuff that could move if it meets my intraday parameters, could give me a nice move on Monday. Guys, I'm really a patient trader, and I look for stuff like, that could give me a nice move the following day. I'm in cash every night, and I'm proud to say I've only got 2 red days since the beginning of February. For all of February and all of March, I've got 2 red days. I thought it was 1. I've been telling people 1, and then I went back to make sure I wasn't lying, and it turns out it's 2. But the reason, I'm not the best trader in the world, but the reason that I have those stats is because I'm really patient, and I wait for things to get to an inflection point where, hey, if it gets to this price, I should get a decent move, and then I always sell some into that first move, and then I go to a can't lose trade after that. So once I've taken some profits off, I make sure in the trade, and don't let the trade become a loser. So it's a strategy that's working for me. Not a lot of people are wired that way, where they have that kind of patience. Most people think they always need to be in a trade, and I don't think that way. It took me years to figure out I'm better off in cash and waiting for those right moments than I am to be underwater in something and hope it comes back. So just the way I'm wired. And my last one on the list here is CTRP. Huge volume on Friday, gapped up to the 200-day and really closed strong. So this might be a possible like red to green on an intraday basis, or just maybe a flat-out follow-through day. So I want to watch CTRP as well. We'll also find gappers in the morning to play, and generally the first 10 minutes of the day, that's all I focus on is gappers, because sometimes I can make my daily goal in 10 minutes if we find the right gapper and the right setup. But in addition to the gappers, I'll be watching all these stocks I just posted, all right? Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and we'll see you guys on Monday.